All right, guys, welcome. How you guys doing today? Today we're going to talk about addiction. Uh, Today we're going to talk about addiction. Genetics is the answer for everything. That's where we were looking for millions of years before this church began this separation. Telling us that there's a wish genie in the sky. We had a first person reciprocal relationship with nature. Everything came from nature, everything had to go back to nature. We borrowed these energies. We don't get to keep them, they have to go in a circle. If our reciprocal relationship is with the store and the landfill, if our reciprocal relationship is to the water treatment plant, we murder everything that we need. So what happens with addiction is the same thing that happens with disease or anything else. Your body is used to being in a reciprocal relationship with the soil. So what you're going to do is you're going to poop and pee into the soil. You're going to poop and pee calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, nitrogen, protein, carbohydrate, microorganism. Cat's helping out today. Into the soil. You got that shit from the soil. You're going to put it back in the soil. Now your microorganisms are one of the most important. They're all so beautiful and so important. However, we're a symbiotic species, fostering 1,000 different species inside of our tummies that are making our feelings, our happiness, our motivations, our sex, both the ability for your penis to become erect and the feeling of an orgasm, just having your mind blown by sex. And then afterwards, the separate feeling of feeling contentment. I had sex and now I'm good. Are all coming from these microorganisms. That's why you're having to pay for erections, why you're having to pay for happiness, why you're having to pay for GLP-1s, where you eat food and then go, hey, I already ate food, that was great, but now I'm done with that part of my day, instead of just more, sitting down next to a family pack, or a family size bag of something, and not even remembering consuming it, and still going, hey, I'm full, but I'm longing, I want food. I have a hunger, even though I'm physically, Thanksgiving full, my body is telling me, give me nutrients, motherfucker. We tried, we didn't do it, give me some more, because you don't have those GLP-1s that are free for life, guys. Now, normally those microorganisms would go into the soil, then this plant would take up the exact same calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, nitrogen, carbohydrate, protein, everything, and just go in a fucking circle. But with your microorganisms, you're going to poop 10 billion a day. That's not sustainable. If you're in a relationship, a reciprocal relationship with a water treatment plant instead of the soil, you're taking all of that. Calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, nitrogen, microorganisms, everything that's precious, everything that's needed here is going to the water treatment plant and being sorted out. And we're adding chlorine, chloramine, bromine, forever chemicals, and then we're bringing that back as your drinking water, as your bathing water, so that you're killing the microorganisms that are making all these beautiful chemicals inside of your tummy. Free. They're dead. Where in nature, they would go into the soil. This guy, amazing guy, is turning sunlight into carbohydrates Blow your mind, right? He has evolved over billions of years to make carbohydrates for himself? No. He's turning sunlight into carbohydrates to put into the soil to meet your microorganisms so that we have this perfect environment for a genesis. 10 billion are going to turn into 10 trillion because a moist dark place plus carbohydrates is everything they need to procreate. To fuck. Now, once we have 10 trillion, soil is going to look like it's almost alive, black as night, beautiful. 1 square inch, cubic inch, is going to have more microorganisms than there are stars in the galaxy. Only then are we going to see living soil. Then this water is going to be taken up with the calcium and magnesium and beautiful nutrients and the microorganisms. The beautiful thing is the microorganisms are doing the same jobs, beneficial jobs in the soil, same beneficial jobs in the tree. And now as you care for the tree, as you eat from the tree, the microorganisms return to you. Now, you have a system inside of you that is counting the energies inside of your habitation. This is the fence at your house. Your body is counting those things. Every species is doing this counting and making evolutionary decisions based on that number. If we put a bunch of people on an island, the people will shrink. If we put a bunch of elephants on an island, the elephants will shrink. We don't need to tell the elephants, hey, we have a smaller environment, we have a smaller number of energies, and so we're going to need to become smaller. This system is automated in all species. We don't need to keep talking about this. American science are just dead people. It's 341 million dead people, zombies. The scientists are as dead as anybody, and so they're pushing back on this information. But we just know this shit. If we reduce the number of lemons, the wolves will know that there's a reduced number of food, and they will choose not to mate this year. Now, they didn't have a lemon census. They didn't have a wolf town meeting because this system is automated. We just have to get past that. That's something that we were first person. We understood for billions of years. We were watching evolution. There you go, big guy. That about ate shit. We were watching evolution in real time. We were experiencing life with nature in real time. When we made changes in these energies at our house, the protein and the carbohydrates at our house, our children changed form, and we had that connection. It's only when the church comes around and says, hey, stop paying attention to the shit that's immediately around you, your wife, your genetic health, your freedom from addiction to drugs, your daughter's genetic health, your daughter's female body, only comes if there's this wish genie in the sky that grants this. And so all focus now is on the church. Every time you have a problem, you're going to stop, you're going to press your hands together, you're going to squeeze real hard like you're pooping, and anticipate that some fucking miracle is going to pop out of your butthole instead of walking outside and planting goddamn food. You put 2 pigs outside, in a month you're going to have 100 fucking pigs outside. Or you can say, hey preacher, we're starving over here. We don't have any goddamn food. Could you tell God that we'd like some food? And God's going, what the fuck could I do? I've given you a system of endless food. All you need to do is put 2 baby chicks in your backyard, give them some food, and in 3 months you'll have 100 fucking chickens out back. Free protein for life. It's not a monthly subscription. It's free protein for motherfucking life. What do you want from me? If you put the seeds from one fucking apple in the ground, you'll have an orchard and have free apples for the rest of your motherfucking life. If you take the seeds out of a bell pepper, make plants, you're going to have 100 plants making 20 bell peppers per year per fucking plant. What do you want? What are you asking me for? This shit is automated. The church is saying, hey, you got to ask the guy. You got to go to the building that has 0 species-specific energy that's going to cause your body to go into first death. Then you tell that guy to tell the other guy the shit that you need. Now, what happens when we live the church's life? When we live the life that the Rockefellers threw at us, they knew, those motherfuckers knew that this had happened to us. They had done studies already. They changed the outcome. They knew exactly what had happened. First death. This system is measuring for these energies, including the microorganisms, including the calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, nitrogen, and everything that's also going in a circle here. If we have an interruption in those energies returning to you, this system will say, oh fuck, 911, we done fucked up. We're going to salt the earth. Get in the soil. Get in the soil. And now, your body is going to say, what's here that I can kill myself with? Do we have motherfucking code red? Do we have motherfucking double stuffed up in this bitch? Give me a bunch of those. I'm never going to feel happy. I'm going to be a bottomless pit. I'm going to sit and cry and watch TV and then go, where'd the goddamn double? I got to go get the double stuff. Where I had them, but they're not here anymore. That's what's giving me my happiness. Your right hemisphere is lying to your left hemisphere saying, hey dude, this is what's good. If your child was alive, if your child had the right to live, your child would be outside exercising like we were doing 30, 40 years ago, nice people. Your child no longer has the right to life. The church robbed you. These billionaires fucking robbed you. This was designed, but 2 chickens still makes 100 fucking chickens. The soil's right outside. You covered it with grass and cement, but we can just uncover that shit and grow this stuff, nice people. I want to tell you a story. Real quick. We're living downtown Denver. We're studying humans. We're not, doing this behind people's back. We're telling people, hey, we're scientists and this is our social group. This is where we live. But we're also studying things. We don't even know what we're studying necessarily. It's the study of biopsychology. We're simply taking in data and seeing what plus what equals what. That's it. And so we're not having people sign, paperwork or anything like that. But we're just observing. That's all any of us are doing. We've just got a little bit of training in this. However, we already know this shit. So we are growing huge, massive amounts of food. It's Denver, Colorado, Baker Historical District. I got a big Baker tattoo. I also got a Westwood. I also got Detroit on there. I also got Luperone, our cool little city where we live in the Dominican Republic. And super cool neighborhood. Baker Historical. Community Gardens 2 blocks away. Block away catty corner. The South Broadway Strip, Sobo. God damn. Best place in the world. Best place in the world, nice people. But we're growing this food forest the way that we're doing that is we dug out the basement. The basement had been a little short basement, and so we just dug it out and then shored it up with concrete so that we had this great big 10-foot tall basement in a Queen Victoria. We just hired a bunch of people off of Craigslist. We had 12 guys just lugging buckets up these fucking stairs, and then when we got done, we just had to get a concrete chute down there and just form out new extended the bottom of the walls, the bottom of the staircase, all that shit. And now what we're doing is every day we're going down there in the middle of winter, dead of winter, we're cloning plants, we're growing plants from seeds. We've got a 49 spot aeroponic cloner where you can cut a stick off anything, strip it, roll it in some cloning gel or cloning powder, stick it in these little pods, and nutrients would just get sprayed at it. Roots are exploding out of there. Very scientific, very beautiful. Blast also, just a blast to be living with all of these living organisms. So me and my wife already know this, and we're practicing it. But we're studying the people around us. We're saying, hey, we're going to their house and seeing what we're saying. Hey, what foods are you eating? A lot of times it's day drinking shit. We're meeting them for lunch. They slept in. Maybe they drank a little bit too much last night. Maybe they used some drugs. We're just asking them questions. Hey, you guys know us. You trust us. Fuck the goddamn police. It's not about that. We're not investigating you. We're just trying to figure out what's making people do what. Everything's kind of going wrong right now. No one. We have all kinds of successful, artistic, amazing, educated, interesting people there, and not one of those people was in a relationship. They were in lots of relationships. They were in situationships. They were fucking, but nobody was in a relationship. Not by choice. If we sat there for a half an hour and everybody else kind of wandered off, people would cry and tell us, guys, we don't like this. We don't understand why you're in a relationship and we're not, but we want a beautiful relationship. We want to come home to somebody. We don't want to sit here till 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, just trying to meet one person and failing time after time after time, just drinking ourselves to death because of this loneliness. And we try to tell them some of this stuff, but people that are drinking, they kind of want to vent. They don't actually want to know, hey, here's the scientific blah, blah, blah. They just kind of tune out. So we're telling them, hey, this is why we're content in a relationship. We have the right to procreate because our body has measured the number of human energies where we're at. And they'd say, oh, fuck, we're going to grow some plants tomorrow. We're going to go to the gym tomorrow. And they're dead. They're not going to do that. We can tell them all day long. But let me tell you something interesting that happened to us. We're kind of thinking we're isolated a little bit. Not so much, it turns out. What happens is, when we bought the house on Alameda, we could look at the horizon and see the Rockies from left to right. There wasn't any obstruction whatsoever. We could see the below the foothills, the Rockies, everything. And then over a 10-year period, these people would buy plots. First they put in the light rail, then they started buying plots a block and a half away from us and putting up god-awful, fucking green, puke green apartment buildings, but not, ghetto, high-end. 10 years ago, it was $2,500 a month at a time when an expensive apartment was $1,500, $1,800. So you're going, what the crap? But there was all sorts of amenities, especially it's right on the light rail. No more traffic, no more parking, just bam, you're straight to work. Very cool lifestyle. A lot of these people wouldn't even own vehicles. We just lived on bicycles. We had a vehicle, but we didn't use the vehicle. It was a promotional vehicle for the clinic. But then they bought on the other side of Alameda. They knocked down a car dealership. The car dealership probably had, 10 employees, 10, 12 employees. It was a small car dealership. It didn't have a service center. It didn't have, it had a little tiny showroom, couple employees. So we could say at any given time there might have been 10 people there during the day, probably 0 people there at night, or one security guard there at night. During the day, if they had a rush, we might have had 20 people over there, a couple blocks away. They ripped that down and replaced that with 1,000 units of housing. So depending on the number of people per housing, we could have 2,000, 3,000, weekend 4,000 people in the building, 4,000 people in the building across. And now I started experiencing things that my clients were experiencing. I started experiencing, like if I was inside of a building that had a handrail and nothing above it, you're on the second level, I'm going over to walk down the stairs, I'd have this little kind of vibration, like a little panic attack, and I'd be hearing, hey, it's dangerous. And I'm going, what? Doesn't matter what story I'm on. I'm not going to fall off a fucking handrail. That's weird. But of course, the city building is probably where I'm at. So we've got a dead building, 0 energies, tons of people. That would explain not feeling comfortable in that mathematics in that building. But these things started happening even though we had our stuff. You might go, hey dude, this says your situation, what you're telling us here, is incorrect. Your science is bad. But if we exacerbate, if your body is measuring the number of energies for the species versus the number of the species. And so if my house is packed full, wall to wall, food forest outside, food forest in the basement, food forest in every fucking room in that goddamn house, but we add 1,000 people to the house, we fucked up the math, y'all. We fucked up the math. Quite frankly, I started also when I would drive over bridges. But I mean like a little tiny bridge. There's no possibility of anything happening. There'd be a little tiny vibration, like a little tiny panic attack. But I kind of wasn't in control for a second. Like half of a second, it just vibrated and I stopped and then went, what the fuck was that? So there was a short period of time I had to stop driving. Then in the morning time, there's no people outside. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Initially, I was thinking, what's going on? We actually thought we might be getting exposed to some chemicals from some of the businesses next door. And I'm not saying we weren't. But in the morning time, there's no people outside. All these people are partying their dicks off until 4 o'clock in the morning. So the mornings we get to enjoy. We go to Wash Park, it's empty. We're cooking breakfast and walking over to the grocery store. Grocery store is fucking empty. We got no problems. We're cooking, we're using power tools, everything. But then come 5, 6 o'clock at night, I go to the same kitchen and I kind of get this warning signal from the right half of my brain, the ancient half of my brain, would kind of be saying, hey, this kitchen is dangerous. This gas stove is dangerous. These knives are dangerous. Be careful around the knives. And I'm going, dude, I appreciate you, but, I'm a chef. I can, I'm going to be fine with these knives. It's a little bit stupid, but I spin knives and then catch them by the handle for no apparent reason. Lots of people in the biz do dumb shit. You just get really comfortable with knives. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Nobody's there when I do this. But I've never dropped the knife or caught the wrong end of the knife or something like that. I'm very proficient with kitchen tools. But I'm getting this signal, hey, this is dangerous. So cool that we got that system that will remind you, hey, you're about to forget something. Hey, you're about to miss your exit. Hey, this is a dangerous situation. Be careful. But I'm going, why is this going off right now? So I finally tell my wife, hey, this is weird, but, in the kitchen in the afternoon. And she's going, I didn't want to say anything, Stephen, but I've been getting the exact same thing. In the morning, I feel fine, but in the afternoon, late at night again, we would cook and we'd be fine again. But in the afternoon, when there's all these, oh God, it got to the point. Like if you burn the food a little bit, set off the fire alarm, and you go to open the front door, the second you would open the front door and walk away, somebody just walk in your house. They wouldn't poke their head in and go, hey, is this a business or is this a house? We'd be out back. And somebody would come out back and say, hey, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. And you're going, what the goddamn, did you just walk in the front door of somebody else's house all the way through the fucking house and walk out their back door? No, you can't use the goddamn bathroom. Get the fuck out of my house, you goddamn weirdo. It got so populated, nice people, that it was, I love people. But if you can't open your door for 1 second without a stranger being inside the house, no knocking, no hey neighbor, want that cup of sugar? In the fucking house, the second you open the door, everybody was getting weird. You don't just walk in somebody's house unless shit's getting weird, y'all. You can understand, the more we screw with these numbers, the higher the urgency. When you go to a soccer game and the dad is, wow, I'll kill you. And, you're going, yo, dude, this is a 4-year-old soccer game. This just doesn't register on any level. This doesn't matter. Why are you so aggro? Right here, people. That soccer field has none of the energies, and now we put, kid soccer game. It's got 200 people out there or something like that, and all of a sudden people are going, people in traffic. This guy's the chillest motherfucker on the face of the planet. Now he's in here. There's no oxygen. We're all just breathing carbon dioxide from the car we're hotboxing ourselves in, as well as the rest of the vehicles input. Then we got thousands of people. Now we got a little bit of traffic, and that chill dude is getting out of the car saying, that's the last time. And the other guy's going, it kind of can't be, because we've never met before. So, we don't have this rapport where this could be the last time I do this. If we've never fucking met, yo, chill out, get back in your goddamn thingamajig over here. That's what's going on, is we're increasing the urgency to reduce the number of the species to match this over here. So we started feeling the effects. Poor Sarah, some of the nice people, are good friends, close friends, amazing friends. Artists, not artists doing little shit and, hey, my living room is my gallery. Artists that are in the gallery, people that own the amazing Czech food up the street, the tattoo artists, just the amazing artists of every kind. Not lowlifes or something like that, but they're using a little bit of cocaine, inner city, Still popular. I don't know why. It's the worst fucking drug on the face of the planet. If somebody said, "Oh man, I was really bummed out and used some Molly," and something like that, where there's just a lower consequence or something like that, I'd go, well, it's kind of for kids, a little bit childish, but whatever. If you're on Molly and you're on a bad trip or it just turns out to be a bummer time, you just go home and go to sleep. But cocaine, god damn, like the dumbest drug on the face of the fucking planet. But we're just here collecting information. We're telling people, hey, that's not going to be great for your life. You're not going to go to you're telling yourself you're going to go to the gym tomorrow, but you're doing blow right now. You're not going to be sleeping. Oh, I sleep. I'm the one that sleeps. Oh, I'm the one that sleeps. Super annoying to be around people that are enabling themselves, right? But we had a dog pass. Amazing Blue got breast cancer at 6 years old. And so once again, we're going, is there some chemical source? But it turns out that they just really, really inbreed these things. And so they tend to start dying of cancers really early in life. We didn't know that at the time. And so we were going, what's going on in this neighborhood? What's going on in this house? There's gotta be something. But the poor kid, she started using the drugs as well. We exacerbated. We had the food. We had the life cycle. We had living soil that we were participating in, but we just exacerbated the number of humans until, she tried some drugs, and then, next thing I know, she's gone, and we're still in communication, but, that's not your life anymore. That's drug Sarah now. And so she's saying, hey, I'm going to get you back. And you're saying, back? We had a beautiful 5 years together. And you went and did some drugs, but I didn't do anything to you. I didn't even know about the drug use, but we'd never had a disagreement. We'd never had a screw you or something like that. It was kind of hard for me to get past that because, we didn't have any problems. Because your wife is there, the other part of you is there, 50% of you is there, then 50% is gone, and you're going, each time these people feel like, hey, I'm going to get you back. The story that they're hearing is you've been attacked. You need to retaliate in order to reduce the number of the species, nice people. This addiction is a tool of your right hemisphere to murder you, to murder your kid. You've set you've made the mathematics, make the body choose death. Now you can't say, hey, the media, the peer pressure, the telephone, TikTok, goddamn TikTok. You can't do that. You fucked your kid. You fucked your kid. And I'm so sorry that the church did this to you so that nobody taught you this coming out of the womb. This was our reality. This is what we talked about around the campfire at fucking night. This is what we taught our fucking kids. Then the church fucked us. But you have responsibility as well. Guys, especially now that you know this information, don't fucking half-step this shit. Do what's right for your kid. Like with everything in life, we needed to be starting with genetics. Your child is evolving. Live people are evolving. This shit church, these shit cults are telling us that it's mom plus dad plus time. If your dad had acne at 13, your mom had asthma at 13, now you're going to be a 13-year-old with acne and asthma. Thanks, Mom and Dad. That's not how that shit works. We have all different genes that we can access depending on how we're evolving. Our evolution has a bunch to do with the people that are around us. If we've got one person evolving to be extremely intelligent, the brother isn't going to go, yeah, me too. We've already got that nailed down in this family, in this team. And so the evolution of your body is going to say, hey man, let me be the fucking mechanic in this family. Let me be the fucking artist in this family. Let me be the earner in this family. Let me be the doctor in this family. So that as a group, we become stronger, more capable of evolution, more capable of gaining, collecting wealth, information, health equity. Amazing people. This evolution is in response to the people around you. But if these people are all dead, we're communicating with pheromones, with molecules, with electricity. If everybody around your kid is dead, you really don't have a big chance, nice people. Your kid doesn't really have a big chance. You gotta correct this motherfucking math. We gotta start there. If the goal of the body is death, all we have to do is find a means. Let's real quick talk about the differences between these drugs, though. We're trying to talk about street drugs. Oh no, my kid's using meth. You're probably also using meth. You have been taught that, if this stuff is trademarked, if this stuff is patented, if this stuff is sold by a doctor, that now this is medicine. And that's a load of shit. Meth is fucking meth. When you're taking those Adderall pills, when you're taking those Go Fast pills, when you're taking those extreme focus pills, you're just smacked out on goddamn Molly right now. You're just smacked out on goddamn meth. There is absolutely no difference between those molecules whatsoever. Most of the people that are using these drugs are finding different ways to use these prescription pills. They're not just taking a pill with a glass of water. They're finding if they snort this pill, it'll go quicker. They crush it up and snort it, they'll feel it quicker. They're finding out if they use 1.5 or 2 pills, then 3 pills, then 4 pills at a time, that they're going to experience more. They're going to smoke this shit, they're going to crush this shit up and inject this shit. Your fentanyl has 50 different doses of fentanyl, and you're supposed to take it, and 1 dose gets released per 5 minutes, per 10 minutes. But if you crush it up, all the doses get released at the exact same time. That's why they're saying fentanyl 50 times stronger than heroin, because those 50 doses are being released at once. But if we buy two $2 fucking pills, now we have 100 times the strength, and that's a prescription pill, guys. If you're smacked off of your tits on prescription drugs, there's no difference. If you were on meth, and then we did the work, and we got you the thing, and you prayed to your God, and you got off of meth, but now you're on cigarettes, coffee, and carbohydrates at the meetings, and then you get yourself a prescription for some nice Adderall. You went from meth to meth, cigarettes, coffee, and carbohydrates, guys. We got to call a spade here. These people are saying, I love that the cartels are now making fentanyl, but they're stamping it. They're making fentanyl. They're making real fentanyl, so it looks the exact same. It is the exact same, and it looks the exact same. The illegal drug has only not been profited on by billionaires. That's the only difference. What's inside the pill is the same. What the pill is the same. The stamp on the outside of the pill is the exact same. However, one of them, Big Farm got $1 trillion, your government got $1 trillion, the billionaire got $1 trillion, and so they're saying that's great, but if they don't get paid, you need to go to a fucking meeting and smoke some goddamn cigarettes. I need us to tear down this wall. You're in a goddamn fishbowl. Everything that's being fed to you is propaganda, and they're telling you, hey, that kid's got a problem, but you taking meth at the house, you got the piece of paper, so you're good to go. Incorrect. Any chemical that you feel you're missing, that's supposed to be manufactured in your tummy. There's a microorganism that's still here, but you pooped them into the water treatment plant until you went from trillions down to 10. So the guys that are trying to make serotonin human happiness, they're supposed to be making gallons and they're making drops. You got almost nothing, guys. The guys that are supposed to be making endorphins so that you go outside and exercise and your body says, I fucking love this is amazing. You have reduced the number of species where you have droplets. You go outside and try to exercise and your body is saying, this only hurts, dude. This only hurts. If you were in your human life cycle, you would have gallons of that stuff. When you went out and did some exercise, you'd be blown away, guys. We need to replace those drugs. Don't get off them, replace them. You got a never-ending free supply that has no side effects. I do 5 hours of cardio most days, but the entire time, I'm just being blown away. This is almost sexual. I'm experiencing so much pleasure. Every time I see another tree with beautiful pink blossoms again this year, it is the time right now. Or every time I see a beautiful new calf jumping around because he can't believe fucking grass feels so amazing, it just blows me away chemically. I'm on drugs. Every time I see one of those things, drugs get sprayed into my bloodstream and my mind is fucking blown. That was the human existence for millions of years before this shit church told us that we've got this third-person relationship to the things that we want. Amazing people. You can take this back. You can take this back. You're going to send your kid to rehab. You're going to get them on to cigarettes and coffee and donuts and then tell them, oh, you're doing a great job. You're going to kill yourself just as quick. But you're doing a great job because you're not on that street stuff. And they're going to go right back to it because there's still no goddamn serotonin in your kid's body, and there's no reason why you would anticipate there would be. You got to get them back in this thing, man. No antibiotics. You know, if you need a course of antibiotics because you got an infection, take those goddamn antibiotics. Go to your doctor, take those motherfuckers. But don't poop in the soil. You have antibiotics in you. When you're done with that, you're going to make some ancestral stew, get a bunch of that stuff inside of you, and then you're going to get back into your cycle. If you're doing this all the time, and then you abstain for 3 days, doesn't mean shit. This is so full of microorganisms specific to your species that if you stop pooping in the soil for 3 days, that's the only time you should be using a water treatment plant, nice people. The only time is when you say, hey, I put antibiotics in me, I'm not going to put that in the soil. I'd kill every microorganism inside of you. Boy, I choked that one out, didn't I? I'd kill everything here, then that'd kill everything here, then that'd just be coming back to me. Now I'm eating my food, the antibiotics inside of it, nuts to that. As much as you can, people, get tested. If you have a tummy bug, don't just go, hey, give me a Z-Pack, something that's going to wipe out everything. Get your poop tested, find out which microorganism you have, and get an antibiotic specific to that one bad guy, so that we're not killing the 999 other species in here that didn't do anything to you. Well, they did. Amazing things. You cannot live without these microorganisms. Right now you are. And so, you're at high risk for addiction. But if we get you on the chemicals you live with for billions of years, you're going to have that right to life, right to procreate, and you're already going to have those natural drugs being made inside of your head. That's why your kids are going, I can't feel anything. Of course I'm going to take a fucking drug. I can't feel anything. Your kids are cutting the inside of their legs to see if they can feel anything today, and going, nope. Once again, nothing. You guys have some responsibilities here. Get human drugs inside your kids. You get your kids off of the goddamn nasty ones, guys. And get off them yourself. You can't say shit to your kid about meth if you're on goddamn Prozac. That's the same fucking molecule, guys. Guys, I gotta go. You're super important to me. I'm gonna do this again real soon.